Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to Terribad Tavern. Sorry for the delay in the start. We were having some severe technical issues. We had a normal program that usually runs our cameras and everything, and it just sort of broke on us. It stopped working, so we had to. Exactly, Mrs. Nerd. So we had to quickly find a solution, but luckily Mystic was able to give us a pretty quick solution to the problem and what we could do, which is awesome. We love it. Um, but we're back at Terribad Tavern. It's been a long time
Hey,
since we sat down. We had to dust off the bar and some of the bottles before we came in. It was insane. Um, but back. I'm glad to be back. I hope you guys are too.
yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
I'm here with some terrific people. You probably know them from their own streams or from guest starring on my stream or whatever you may. But in case you don't, we have Patty K Games, aka Azriel Drisbin. We have Mystic Raven 13, aka Vaza Rordic. And of course, the couple that nerds together, Mr. and Mrs. Nerd, respectively, Dorcas and Gildea. Um, and is incredible. Now, I'm gonna do a quick thing before we get into this. I won't be taking. I don't want to open a whole conversation about it. It won't be comments. I'm just gonna do a short, quick jaunt, and then we're gonna get into everything. So, if you have frequented Terribat Tavern, you know that here we typically have a fellow streamer by the name of Beard Goblin, who played FIFA Cupbear in our party. Due to some real life issues that I'm not going to get into because it is not my business to put out there, um, Beardy will no longer be joining us in the tavern. It really sucks. We all hate to see them go. We hope that they will one day come back, but as it stands right now, they just need some time away from it all and to time to figure out some things about their life again. It's not our business to put out there. But we love them very much, and there will always be a bar stool here at the tavern for them to sit at. There will be a goodbye during this stream to say goodbye to FIFA's character because we're not just going to throw FIFA to the wind. Um, but that's all we're going to say about it, and that's as far as we're going to go into it. Aside from that, we have a story to catch up on. So last time the group was on a voyage from the capital city. They were taking a ship to the land of Telbok, which is one of the prominent locations in Persalon, on a mission from the Queen to get information. Well, not get information, to convince the lords and ladies to start working towards peace. They are meant to be sort of, you know, what is the word? Diplomatic um
Ambassadors.
ambassadors, that's the word, thank you. Um
Hmm.
to the queen in this sort of situation. However, about halfway through the travel, a little over halfway through the travels, they were boarded by the crew of the damned, well, the fleet of the damned, more like, as they demanded a certain individual be brought to them. That individual was nowhere on the ship, but through some magic that no one can quite understand, uh, Dorcas was able to gaze into the mind of the admiral that was interrogating him and, in a way, sort of pass through the astral plane. And as he did, he noticed that the heartbeat, the sort of calling that the admiral was looking for, was coming from Gildea's presence. And directly after that, Dorcas dragged Gildea into the captain's quarters with only saying, "We need to talk." And that is where we left off last time.
Dragged you. Yeah. People are gonna wonder about things. Especially since everyone thinks you were doing it. Was it with the first mate that everyone thought you were?
Captain.
Oh, it was the captain.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you were having your way with. All right.
I was on it with the first maid. Come on.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, so we're picking up right with me and her.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okie Then after I shut and lock the door, I'm going to turn to Gilday and be like, I need you to be straight with me right now.
Okay.
Your family. Are they descendants from the people this person was looking for? This captain, this cursed man.
I don't know. I've never heard of him.
You've never heard of him, you've never had any interactions with a mystic, a wizard, someone who would somehow tie your family or you specifically to this person?
What are you saying?
I'm saying that throughout all of this, I was able to glimpse who this thing was looking for, and it was you.
Me?
Yes, the heartbeat that he said he was hearing was yours.
Know that.
Because it's magic, all right? Let's just say that's why.
Okay. Well, again, I've never heard of this person till we were boarded by this stupid crew.
Well, they're looking for you, and it's likely that they're probably going to show up again if they can somehow sense a presence that is tied to this person somehow.
Well, you sensed it.
Hi.
How come they didn't fully, how come they didn't connect the dots to me?
Because I was able to persuade them to stop looking toward you.
Okay. Anyway, thanks.
You're welcome.
Is there a way that you can use your magic to, mask it or something?
Can I? I don't know, but maybe. I need to study a little of this sort of thing a little bit more before I just go poking around willy-nilly in the astral plane. You really have no idea.
Nope.
Alright. Well, I didn't know if you'd want me to reveal this in front of the others, so that's why I brought you here. Tell them, don't tell them, I don't really care, I'll follow your lead.
As to, you mean our party members?
I
I think we can. I don't trust Azrael with this knowledge. I do trust Vaza with the knowledge.
If you think it's wise to, like I said, do with it what you will.
Well, I don't want to hide it from her because I have nothing to hide.
Right. Well, perhaps you will have an opportunity to speak with her without making it look like as if we're conspiring against one of our own, because we're not doing that.
Jeez.
Lord knows what they think we're doing in here right now, considering that you're having an affair with the captain. When did you do that, by the way?
I didn't.
What do you mean you didn't? The entire crew was talking about it.
I know. I wanted them to think that I did. Because the captain was in here when we were in here with the captain of the damned. And so, if he was to continue to think that I was the captain of the ship, that was the first thing that came to my mind.
And the entire crew, your business is your own. All right,
I
should we
want
go back out there?
I want
What?
to during this whole conversation, out on the deck, Azrael, you were recently electrocuted, and you said that you were resting up against the main mast, just trying to catch your breath. And Vaza, you had gone over to check on him, when those two had, sort of walked away from the rest of the group. You guys are out on the deck, sitting next to the main mast as members of the crew are going around checking to see who is injured, who is not injured, how many have actually died. The, real captain is watching out over the sea, waiting for the lights of the fleet to disappear, before he turns and starts barking orders out of fear that they're still listening. And what are the two of you talking about or up to in this circumstance?
How you doing, buddy?
I've been better. It's not as bad as I seem to remember a projectile protruding from me at one point, but
I don't know what you mean. I don't know. Are you gonna be dramatic about this? Like, come on. Like, it's just singed. There's no tears. You're good.
it doesn't seem to have affected it much, so I guess I'm all right.
You might want to flatten your hair down a bit, though. It's kind of like,
Have you checked on Susan?
Susan. Yeah, well, I will go. Well, I think she was round the corner. Do you want me to go find? I'll go find Susan. I'll go. Are you gonna stay here? Don't move. Don't go
Wasn't
pickpocketing
planning on.
people that are like just dead on the deck. Just you need to chill for a second.
Yes, I shall stay here for the time
Okay.
being.
Okay. I'm gonna go find Susan, who's got her head in a grain barrel, just like going to frickin' town because nobody's monitoring her food intake right now.
She's pecking at some grain that got knocked over in the below deck where the crew of the dam had been ransacking. She found some grain on the ground and is picking at that. So yeah, I'll say after a few minutes of each of these conversations going on, nerds, you both return. Dorcas and Gildea, return to the main deck where now that the lights have disappeared out in the fog, the the real captain has turned and started commanding his crew about what to do in the circumstance where an attack happens. As he's sort of doing this, you see a few people pull out some flags and start trying to wave down. In the distance, you see the light. A lot of lights start heading toward them. As you notice, they're trying to flag down the flagship of this whole endeavor, trying to see if they've procured any damage as they were a little ways away, or if they are under any fire. So it takes a day or two. You guys are delayed as repairs are made. Those who survived the explosions on the other ships are brought onto the ships that they can fit on. What cargo fell into the sea is able to be found. And after a few days, you all get back on your way. It's about another month and a half to make it to the mainland. Is there anything anyone wants to do while still on the ship before making it to the mainland?
We have 2 crew members that are from this area, correct?
Like 2 party members?
Yes.
Yes. Both Vaza and Dorcas, though I don't know that. I think Vaza said she was from the area. I don't know that Dorcas ever did. But both of them are from the area you were all headed towards.
I would like to see if I can gain some knowledge of the social structure of the city that we are visiting.
All right. Um, I guess who in your group are you going to for that information? Are you just being like, oh, I want to go to Vaza, I want to go to Dorcas, see if he knows anything. Go to Gildea, even though she's from Malia like you.
I would say Vazif, my character would know that.
Okay. I just wanted to be sure. I mean, 100%.
Yeah, 'cause I haven't said.
You haven't?
No.
Okay. I didn't want to put words in your mouth or anything.
Nope, you're good.
So yeah, you and Vaza, I guess. Where do you find her? Below deck? Set the scene for me. Let me know.
Well, I figure I would probably bring this up after one of our rigorous training sessions of Susan.
Yes, Susan, who
I
you
mean,
are
if she was
training.
getting into extra grain, we gotta keep her on a strict plan. So she is fighting fit.
Okay, got these up. All right. So you two finish your sort of training session. And as Susan, goes off to kind of wander around the ship a little bit, the two of you are kind of left alone on this portion of the deck for a minute. And what exactly do you ask, I guess?
So Vaza, where we are headed, you are from?
Yeah.
So, can you tell me a little bit about the social structure of the area?
Well, I hate outsiders, that's for sure.
And what would they consider outsider?
They consider me an outsider, so I'm from the area, but I was not very welcomed or received.
And what would the high class people be like in this city?
You want to know how much you're gonna get?
I'm trying to discover if we can gain any knowledge by infiltrating their ranks.
You can try, but they're very harsh. If you get caught, I don't know you. You're on your own.
But tell me a little bit more about them.
Well, what's the ruling family called?
The gold scales. If you want, I can throw some lore knowledge, and then you can say what parts of it that you convey to him.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Telbok is the oldest region of Persilon. It is the first one that all of Persilonians settled in from the old world. The major city, Volar, sits at the very base of the Red Mountains. This city has been built, run, and fully occupied by the Gold Scales, which is a Dragonborn family, since its founding. Throughout all of Telbok, especially in Volar, the capital city, there is bad blood between dwarves and Gold Scales. The way a lot of not so much royal families but nobility see it, if you are a dragonborn, you are descendant of Goldscale family, and if you are a dwarf, you are descendant of the Demekian clan, which there was a very serious war that happened many years ago that many don't really know a lot about, because it happened long before Persilon was even founded. Now, with that being said, like you said, they don't like outsiders. The Gold Scales don't look very fondly on people who aren't in their very close knit. But with their alliance with Malia, which is where Azriel and Gildea are from, they are more accepting of those from there. Depending on their status, more, people with money and ties to the military and so on and so forth. The Gold Scales rule with an iron fist. It is definitely not pristine, happy life, celebrations every day. It is more watch your tone when you speak to anyone, anywhere. Because you never know who is in connections with who. And that is the most I could probably give you information based off your background of knowing and the time you spent and where you spent.
Yeah, I would relay all of that over to Azrael.
Okay.
Just watch your
Fascinating.
mouth.
Fascinating.
It'll get you into trouble. Just be careful.
Appreciate the warning.
Well,
But will he heed it?
that is the true question, isn't
To be fair, I don't even know if I'll heed it.
it?
We don't know until it comes up.
Never know. Time passes, and
Hey,
oh, you good?
I sent you a message, Soul. Did you get that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have alerts on, and I had the window closed.
Oh, okay.
Gildea, are you going to tell me what you spoke with Dorcas about in this time?
Sure.
Cool.
How much of that do you share?
Um,
If you guys want to do a scene about it, that's totally fine as well.
I mean, I would have shared most of what he said. I don't know why I wouldn't have shared all of it.
Cool.
Just not in front of that one.
Not in
Gotcha.
front of Azrael.
So at some point,
I want to grab Dorcas at some point before we land as well.
okay. Again, that's up to you. This is sort of like a time passing and events occurring montage. So
Okay, so I'm grabbed.
you are grabbed.
Grabbed?
She wanted to grab me at some point.
Yeah.
Oh.
Grabbed. What did you do with that thing you got out of the crate?
I still have it.
What is it?
Oh God, Soul, what did I pick up out of the crate?
You picked up a ruby necklace that was designated for as delivery for Lady Goldscale.
It was.
I believe it was ruby necklace.
Okay. Was there anything else special about it?
Not that you could tell, no.
I grabbed something that is meant for the royal family. I was thinking maybe if we said that the pirates took it and I found it and could bestow it to her princess, maybe that would get us in good with them.
Okay, so that's what we're going with. We're gonna go with the we had it we had it for safekeeping. Have you told the captain?
No.
Okay.
Do you think I should?
I think the less he knows, the better. We weren't supposed to touch those crates. Did you see how crazy he went when he thought everything was getting like moved?
So I figured if we could preserve his reputation while also maybe furthering our own a little bit, that's we're gonna need all the help we can get in this area. Lord knows I'm not going to be of any station to these people.
Same. Are you gonna tell the others that we have it?
Again, do you think I should?
No, maybe just keep it. They were involved with the other bits. We'll just stick to what we've got.
Right. Besides, if it goes sour, then they have plausible deniability.
Yeah, true.
Alrighty. It comes time for the ships to pull into port. This happens during the night while all of you sleep. You are roused with the morning call. You are all sleeping below deck, and the captain comes down to all of you. And he wakes each of you and explains to you individually, not like a mass, like everybody get up, but shakes you all awake, and explains that they needed to pull fully into port, because due to the damages sustained, they needed repairs, and there was no point waiting out in the water and then having individual life rafts go forward. or boats at least, to gather your things, and whenever you're ready to disembark, you may. And if there was anything that you had in cargo, you should be able to head to the transport station and find it unloaded there.
I'm going straight off to find Simon.
Okay. We'll say before you do that, as everyone's headed off the ship, Vaza, you notice someone is missing, leaving the cargo hold. And when you head back to find your little goblin friend, I am going to send something to you on Discord. Give me 1 second because I tested this a little bit ago and I know that it formats weird when I try to copy and paste it. I gotta edit some things because it never wants to do it the way I put it in there. That, then that. Okay. You find that. Where he was left off. And I'm gonna give you a minute to read that. All of you, huh?
Where is it?
It is. I will say. Oh, I sent it to Mystic. Because Mystic found it.
Okay.
And I'll give Vaza the opportunity to share what she will through it. If you guys want, I can read. If Mystic, if you want me to, I can read the whole thing. If you're like, I'm just gonna tell them everything.
Okay, hang on, I'm just reading.
That's all good.
I'm gonna go over to Azriel.
Okay.
Well, he's reading that, and I'm gonna say to him, "So you and Vaza are really training this chicken to be of some use in battle."
Ah, yes. Can never have enough healthy combatants.
I really don't understand how this is going to help, but if you two think it will, then by all means. I still can't believe you found someone to craft armor for the thing.
Yes. It was quite an adventure. You see, you never underestimate the little thing. So when we found Susan, who would have thought that she would have been a god chicken?
I suppose that is true. I've never heard of a guard chicken, but apparently in some parts of the world it is rather common.
I think it's a pretty common thing.
Well, I feel like I had a voice in a dream tell me once it's a fairly common thing.
Listen. Oh my goodness. All right, Mystic. Have you finished reading through that?
Yeah.
All right. Do you want me to share all of it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, the reason I had Mystic read it specifically is because it was kind of like written as a letter. So I'll share it with all of you now. Vaza looks to find where FIFA normally slept, and instead in that place finds a piece of parchment. It is seemingly torn from the journal that FIFA would normally write in as he went about his day, and it goes like this. I cannot do FIFA's voice, and so I apologize now. I'm just going to read it as myself. Dearest of diaries, and then that is crossed out, and below it just writes Vaza. After our run-in with those fishy weirdos, I realized something. I don't think that I am quite ready for the work that we do. I was set out on a mission to make the world a more peaceful place, and I think I succeed better in that on my own. Our talk with the Queen has reminded me of the whereabouts of my home, and those who sent me on my path. I must speak with them, and this is a mission I must, unfortunately, undertake alone. Thank you for being my accountability buddy and helping me through this strange world. Tell the others what you will, I am sure they will understand in their own ways. But be sure to tell them I wish you all the best of luck on this journey. Take care of Susan, and watch out for Simon. Until next we meet again, Queen's Brood, that is crossed out. Terribad, that is crossed out. Fierce 5, that is crossed out. I am still working on it. Sincerely, FIFA Cupbearer, bearer of the World Cup.
So the wee one has gone off on his own. Well, if I'm being honest, it's not really that surprising.
It's not.
The wee one always marched to the beat of his own drum. Who are we to get in the way of that?
I suppose.
Did he leave the communication device with the blue?
Yes, the
Whatever
the
they
blue
were.
flame scrying stone
Blue
was
flame
weighing it
scrying
down.
stone. Okay. Okay. I'll
Unfortunate,
take
though,
that.
we will not be able to communicate with our animal companions.
Sure.
I'm sure we'll see him again. He's alive,
How
so-
unfortunate, Gildea. Sure. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Mystic. It was just very funny to me.
Very Gildea response. Shall we disembark then?
I knew I should have tried harder for that acorn.
How exactly did you try to go about obtaining it in the first place?
The details themselves are not important.
We didn't get it.
You all disembark. And as you do, and you step off of this ship, the wind howls and it chills all of you in a way you weren't quite expecting. You look up and some light snowfall begins to trickle down from the sky, and the quartermaster, who is also disembarking, throws on a very large feather coat and sort of buckles it at the waist and goes, "Oh, I never thought we'd make it during winter, but I guess," and walks out into the crowd. You are all met with the sight of Eastwatch, a very large coastal city that is the first line of defense for the eastern shore of the Telbok continent. You are on a relatively flat plain. Off to the left, a large cliff face begins to stretch high as the significant change in altitude begins towards the Red Mountains. When you look to the east, the lands start to flatten out, and you can almost see the horizon bend as you look out standing on top of this dock as the flatlands of Savine go further. It is the morning, and the hustle and bustle of the docks has never stopped from nightfall until now. You look to the trading depot and you see as things are being pulled from wagons and unloaded, you see Simon attached to his wagon, just sitting and waiting for all of you. You approach and you show your tickets in confirmation that you, of course, own Simon and the cargo that he possesses in his wagon, which is very little, but some provisions that you were given from the queen and her people, so that way you'd be ready for this journey. And as you take Simon, you are all on your way. Now, of course, I give you guys free reign. There is a story, but you guys are now in the continent of Telbok. You know your mission, but your path is yours. What would you all like to do?
Our mission is to try and get, like, the ruling family to join with the queen, right, in her endeavors with what she's doing?
Correct.
Alright.
That sounds like it's gonna be a tall order.
You don't know the third of it.
A third of it.
Can I see any taverns nearby?
Uh,
Sight?
Yeah, I would say that there are two sort of bordering the docks that are sort of immediate stomping grounds for sailors and seafaring folk.
Is there one that's more for city dwellers?
Um, sure. I would say there is okay. There are two inns that you see. Um, one of them is definitely more rough and rugged. You know, seems like it hasn't been well kept. The other is you all remember the very large inn that you almost tore down in the Citadel? Um, it is
No.
surmising to that. Very posh, clean. There are guards standing outside who don't seem to be anything to scoff at. It is definitely a culture shift looking at the two of them side by side.
And is this city you said at the base of a mountain?
It's at the base of a rising cliff face. It's not at the base. The major city, Valar, the one you were all headed to, that is at the base of a mountain. This is on the coast. This is Eastwatch.
Okay.
Now,
Uh,
Dorcas, the way you mentioned how difficult this would be, it sounds like you've been here before.
I have.
Ah. And
Um,
what information do you have? Why will this be different?
because the ruling family are a bunch of
Don't say it too loud.
they're lovely people who just seem to want to congregate with only their people. They are very particular about who counts among those.
I see.
And some tribes, there are many tribes around here that are allied with them. There are a couple who are not. And those that are not, you just don't find many of them in Telbok anymore. They've moved on.
Well, I think our path is clear.
Oh, and what would you say that is?
We just have to become their people.
Believe me, that is a process that could take decades, at least.
Well, at least the queen didn't give us a timeline.
No. Though it seemed that this was more urgent than that. We don't have to become their people, we just have to get them to side with the queen. Which means we need to figure out what they want. They all want something.
We should ask around.
all right.
Hi, but before that, I need a drink.
Which one do you want to go to?
Uh,
Fancy Pants Palooza or
no. I will go to the other one. Y'all may go wherever you wish.
All right.
we should stick together?
Indeed.
Well, that's where I head off to.
You all approach the more not it's not run down. I'm not saying it's, falling apart at the seams, but it is definitely in comparison to the much larger one very simple. No guard stands outside. It's not shiny metal railings or anything. It is a simple tavern. As you approach, a very large sign sits over the entryway with a peculiar looking bird on it, and across the wing of the bird it reads "The Fuzzy Parrot Inn." As
Okay.
you all walk in, and it's early morning. No one is particularly seen doing too rough and rowdy. Uh, you recognize a few of the crew members from the ship that you were on in here, but otherwise, this building is empty. With, of course, a bartender walking or a waiter walking around and handling the few tables that are occupied, and a bartender sitting behind the bar.
Alright. Well, I'm gonna go sit down at the bar.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to approach the bartender and ask for breakfast and what's the latest news. What do
Right.
we need to know?
A very large half-orc man gestures to the waiter and announces, "Go get the morning special." And the waiter finishes up with a few tables and then heads off to the back to begin preparing your breakfast. He goes, "News? Depends how long you've been gone."
We're new in town.
New in town. Any of you religious?
Yeah.
Particularly,
Occasionally.
He goes, "Oh, did you come for the Road of Tears then?"
Not familiar with that.
Oh,
Do I know what that is?
can you make a religion check? Is that a thing that D&D does? I have so many systems in my head, I never know which ones are and aren't for certain things.
Yeah, it's a D&D thing.
Okay, thank you. Make a religion check for me.
I would say that, but yours is. Is that or you want to? It's not bad.
14.
14. I'll say you have heard of it, not a great deal. The Road of 10,000 Tears is a religious pilgrimage that is often done in Telbok, where the road from Eastwatch all the way to Valar is lined with those who take religious pilgrimage to pray. They spend 2 months on the road, um, as they seem to want to get closer to their religion.
What religion is that? Oh, any religion?
Any religion. It's open to anyone. It's a sort of a peace walk.
Um, you know, it wasn't the original reason for the visit, but it might be a nice opportunity.
Oh. You feel like you need to get in good with your god right now.
It's not always for people getting in good with their gods. Some people go just because they wish to convene with others. Some people set up intentionally next to other religious camps and they share ideals. It's all about coming together. And the only reason it's called 10,000 Tears is because many people cry over lost loved ones then. That's originally what it was about, at least that's what the books say.
Does the royal family have any role in this pilgrimage?
Not the way everyone else does.
So they have a role, just not the same one.
You see his eyes sort of dart up and sort of scan the room, and he goes, "They play a role."
Oh, good for them.
Very good.
By the way, can I get a flagon of whatever it is you're serving that would calm my nerves, please?
Of course. He turns to a cask and pours into a flagon and sets it in front of you, and he goes, "It's a gold piece for that."
Okay.
What? Do you not have any money left?
Oh no, I do. I'm not just gonna hand him a gold piece, though. I can do this with a little more showmanship.
Oh, Lord.
Ah, I see. A gold piece, you say? Well, no. It appears that I might have misplaced it. Oh, except I see it. I'm going to do the classic behind your ear trick.
Make a sleight of hand check.
16 plus 1, 17.
All right, not bad. You pull this coin seemingly from behind his ear. And he goes, "Oh wow." He takes it from you as you hold it out. He goes, "Never seen anybody do something like that."
Really? Well, perhaps then I will have to educate the citizens of the finer forms of entertainment.
I suppose so. We don't get a whole lot of crazy entertainment around here. Usually, everyone's headed up to the capital city to do their entertainment where everyone will love it. But
Okay. Do I need to do I need to roll to see how much this drink affects me?
how much of it are you gonna drink?
I'm gonna probably down half of it pretty quick.
Uh, yeah, roll a Constitution saving throw.
God, I get no plus to this.
What'd you roll? What'd you
Three.
roll? That's a 3. Yeah. So a few minutes go by, Vaza. Your food comes out. And the bartender requests 50 silver for it. It's a pretty hearty plate of food. You've got, toast, eggs, some, couple different meats on the plate. It's, morning special seems to be quite a lot of food. And as you're sort of eating up, Dorcas is becoming more and more uh, shit-faced, I think is the best way to describe it. And yeah, you're gonna take disadvantage on your future checks for a little bit. um, what's everybody else up to? Huh?
Slap him
Barkeep.
upside his head, so that he whips around, and as he whips around, I'm gonna just jab a piece of toast in his mouth.
Everyone, Vaz has been holding out on us. She has the ability to create bread out of thin air.
Maybe she's the magical one.
The bartender comes to you, Gilday, and goes, "Yeah, what can I help you with?"
Yeah, can I get a 2 more of the breakfast specials, please? Because clearly Drunky needs something in his stomach.
Of course. I need to look up a conversion real quick of silver to gold in D&D. So that way I don't just keep making you guys pull silver out of your butts. One gold is 10 silver. That's interesting. Cool. That's fine. He's like, cool. That's gonna be 100 silver or the equivalent. So 10 gold. He gestures for the waiter to go ring those up. He goes, "Is there anything else I can do for you?"
I would like an ale as well, please.
Gotcha. He pours that and sets it in front of you. He goes, "Another gold piece to your tab. Do you just want to start a tab, or are you guys gonna be here a while?"
Sure, we'll start a tab.
All right. He pulls out a notepad and starts writing on it. He goes, "What's the name for it?"
Ildea.
Gotcha. He writes your name down and sort of tacks it on one of the shelves behind the bar. And he goes, "We'll add to that as it comes." He turns to you, Azrael, and he goes, "What about you? You've been quiet so far. Need anything?"
Ah, yes. Well, let me have your breakfast special.
All right.
And whatever he had.
Gotcha. He pours a drink, and sets it in front of you. He goes, "Are you starting a tab as well, or is this just
Oh,
everything you're gonna get?"
this is everything.
Alrighty. He goes, "That's 5 gold for the breakfast special, and then another gold piece for the drink." So
I cast
6.
dancing lights, and I seem really entertained by them.
Just sitting there like, woo!
Yeah.
All right. Shooting some sparks up. He goes, "All right, all. I'll be back here if you need anything. Your guys' all breakfast specials come out. Drinks set in front of you, and you have breakfast. I don't know if there's anything you guys want to settle during breakfast, or if we should just jump to you finish eating.
Does
Because
the,
Dorcas keep it down?
that's a great
Oh.
fucking question.
Oh, I gotta roll for that too?
Yeah, roll another constitution check.
With disadvantage, right?
Yes, with disadvantage, because you are drunk.
Okay, well that's a 14 and a 17. So no wait. Yeah, so 14 is my lowest.
Yeah, you keep it down. It doesn't sober you up, but you keep it down.
Okay.
Gile, you had a question?
Do you guys ever know how food tastes so good?
Is the food helping him sober at all?
Oh, that was the question you were going to ask, my bad. No, it isn't quite helping him sober, but he is keeping it down and getting something in his stomach. So
This is only the third drink I've ever had in my life.
the morning goes through, you all eat, and drink your drinks. It's not late in the day by any means, but it's now past early morning as you guys finish up. Uh, wiping your mouths and everything. The bartender comes over again after helping with someone else and goes, "All right, you seem to be done. I don't want to be rude, but if you're headed out, is there anything else I can help you with before you go, or you'll be on your way?" Yeah, no.
Where's the start of the Tears Road?
Road of 10,000 Tears.
Yeah.
That's so many tears.
What was your question about it?
Where's the start?
It should be right at the edge of town. If you walk through, Eastwatch, you'll eventually hit the very large archway that ushers people in. You'll probably see a few people either starting or ending their walk somewhere towards the end. And that road that shoots straight all the way onto Valar, you'll see people all along it.
Any supplies merchants on the way?
Merchants on the way? There's occasionally, from what I understand, I've only taken the walk once. I'm not very religious myself, but apparently there's some people who sort of travel up and down with carts that'll sell the occasional things, but nothing major. I guess you won't find a permanent shop that way. Probably a couple, coal burning homesteads. People who produce charcoal, or few mining camps. People trying to break ground, make mines, but nothing else aside from that.
Is it one person crying all the tears, or is it many people's?
Many people's. It's a lot of tears. It's more of just a name.
Oh, well, they should rethink that. It's a depressing name. Kind of a downer.
I'm sure someone has brought that up.
Alright,
can bring
well,
that
let's
up.
go off and see the queen or king or whoever the hell is ruling right now.
And he goes, you say that in that way, and he sort of collects your plate and your cup very quickly, and he goes, well, you have fun with that, and sort of walks out from behind the bar to head towards the back. And you are all to be, I guess, on your way here.
I look at Vaz and I'm like, and you're worried about me saying something.
Can he walk?
Yeah, I'd say he can walk. He can walk without support.
Oh, you don't want me to roll for that?
No, you can walk without support. But he's definitely like woo, going on it.
And I have my staff, so you know.
Yeah, he's got his staff. He can hold himself up.
Although half the time I'm holding myself up, and half the time I'm just kind of flinging it around.
And just like tapping it on things.
Just envision the Star Wars kid.
Yes,
Dragon
yes,
Lord.
yes.
All right. Is there
Yes.
anywhere else you guys would like to stop in Eastwatch, or are you heading straight there? It's your free roam, guys. You do whatever you like. You tell me, and I'll spin the tale.
Is isn't there there's that shop. Wait a minute. Why the fuck did we take a boat? Is there one of those shops that was it Brimstones?
Oh my god, you're right.
Brimstone's Battle Boutique. Okay, I'll say you guys spend a little while looking around Eastwatch. You don't seem to find a location labeled that here. Do you ask around for help, or do you just look for a building to see if you find one?
No, I was just asking if we happened to see one, because if we did, I'd be like, fuck, we're stupid. We could have just done that.
Okay, I'll say looking
Oh, wait, no, we
around.
pissed her off, didn't we? Did we piss her off?
You did.
What did I do?
You showed her that
Oh.
really freaky book.
Go to the book, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'll say you walk around Eastwatch, and you don't seem to find any building labeled Brimstones.
I made up to her for that. Fine. Am I
Oh.
sobering up at this point?
A
Do I
little
need to
bit.
roll for that?
I'll say you're sobering up a little bit, but it hasn't been long enough to where I'll have you roll to see if it's a significant change.
Okie dokie.
Anyone else got
Alright.
ideas? Or just
Oh, we have to get to the capital city, right?
yes.
Yeah, so I'd say probably start setting off.
All right. If that's the case, then you all set off on your way on the road to Valar. You are walking, or at least moving at a singular donkey speed. And you start to notice a lot of interesting things on the road here. Vaza and Dorcas, I will say it's bringing back some memories you don't quite enjoy. Gildea and Azriel, you are getting a very, very quick sense of what it is like to be here in Telbok. As you travel for a while and the city of Eastwatch sort of disappears behind all of you, you are seeing people who are dressed in religious garments, sitting on the sides of roads in little camps praying. There are some larger clusters now and again than others. There is a couple individuals just sort of walking on the road with their heads bowed. There are some large congregations talking softly. You see the occasional person playing music. And all of this would be a really nice sight if it wasn't for the occasional body lying on the road with no one stopping to pick it up. A half of a wagon axle stood upright with a person hanging from it with a sign on their chest that simply says traitor. A few turned over wagons with horses never detached but dead and cut open. Paint along the bottom of the wagon just saying gold scale with a slice through it. It is not a proper... For a religious walk, there is a lot of death and a lot of hatred. Um,
I see where the Tios come from.
Hey,
the
perhaps the name was more apt after all.
the further on you walk, the closer you get to Valar, the more frequent these things become. And it takes about, if you're doing your full travel there and not diverting in any way, I will say the full walk takes about 3 days. I won't make you guys stand watch for, deciding to sleep or anything like that because there's a lot of people on this road at this time. People are on their religious journeys and you have no need to. Um, but you are traveling quite the distance. As these things become more frequent, you eventually find yourselves approaching the city of Valar. The large red mountains stand behind this massive city. It is just about noon, but not quite. Um, Walls built from the same stone as the mountains, they look as though they bleed into it, sort of cover the main entrance, but when you look up, you kind of question the need for walls. The city, as you see it, has a main bottom area that is protected by the walls, but two roads split as a very deep crevice cuts through the center of this mountain. Not fully, it does sort of diminish the further down it goes, but two roads split and follow this crevice as the city spreads throughout the mountains this way and eventually reconvenes to a very large palace at the top where the crevice points and ends at the mountain. It is not at the peak of the mountain by any means, but you would imagine that the tower that this palace is built to have was meant to rival the peaks of the mountaintops around it. It is enormous, and this city is spanning, and you see tunnels and cuts that dive through the mountains that you can only assume lead off to further branches of the city. As you approach, there is a crevice cut down into the mountain rock where a drawbridge has been let out to let people on and into the city. And of course, as I said, the closer you get, the more of these hangings, turned over wagons, and things you see. And then, quite suddenly, as you approach the city limit of what you can directly see, um, you know, like if you were to take a step back and take everything in at once, all of that stops. And almost as if you're not allowed to have that close to the city. There is, smoke from fires coming up over the walls, and as you approach, a couple dragonborn are standing guard at the city walls. One of them steps in front of all of you and goes, "State your business."
What is the kingdom like where the queen ruled over all of Persalon, right?
Yes, you are still in Persalon. You are in Telbok. This is one of the lands that Persalon overarches of.
Uh,
Whichever one of you wishes to speak to.
uh, we are here on business of the queen.
He sort of looks you up and down, and he goes, "Which one?"
The queen of Persalon.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you again. Which one?
There is only one.
He goes, "Very well. I see you have livestock with you. Are you carrying any other supplies?"
Just what you see on us.
No unusual material.
I mean, no.
Alright.
Not unless you count a wizard's staff or a guard chicken.
Very important, God chicken.
Alright, I don't need all that. I don't need to ask. He goes, "You have no poison on you.
No.
No foreign foods.
No.
You have no hidden or concealed weapons. What you carry on you is what you carry on you.
Hi. Do I have to roll deception for that?
Yes.
Okay. 16.
16. He goes. He nods and goes, very well. Are all of you citizens of Telbok or its surrounding and allied, or not surrounding, Telbok or its allied parties?
Hi.
Yes.
Alright. Um, he sort of like scratches his head a little bit and turns back to another guard, and the other guard kind of like makes a motion with his hand, and he turns back to you. He goes, "I'm sorry, it's my first day. I always forget what the number. Um, you're on business of the Queen. Do you have proof of that?"
Hey. We
I
do.
have
We have.
this badge.
Do we have something other than the coin?
No.
Okay, then I'm gonna pull out the coin and hand it to him.
He looks at the coin. Azrael, he looks over at your badge that you've had made, and he kind of squints at it and compares it to the coin that he was handed. And he goes, "All right. Um. Okay. Very well. I believe you." He hands you the coin back, Dorcas. And he goes, "Obey our laws, regardless if you're foreign or not, and everything will be fine. Don't cause any trouble." And he steps aside. He goes, "If you'd like lodging for your livestock, there is a stable around the corner there you can check into, as well as any other amenities that you might need for a traveler that has never been here before. They will give you all the information that you might need for places to stay and things of the sort."
What is your name?
My name. I'm not really supposed to give out my name. I mean, it's a little odd. But yeah, sure, I guess. My name is Francis.
Francis. You're doing very well for your first day. Thank you very much.
Of course. Thank you, my lord.
Okay.
He,
Um,
he looks at you and goes, "It's just a respect thing. We have to call everyone that. I'm not trying to say your royalty. I don't know you, so it's a
none,
respect
no
thing."
offense taken, sir. You're doing good. Thank you.
Yes. Have a great day, my lord.
We go.
You all enter through the gates of Telbok, and you are immediately met with a mining operation. The mass of the bottom of Telbok has been turned into a massive mining facility where crews will go into the crack that splits Telbok down the middle and retrieve the ore and things that they collect. They are in the middle of their day. It is hard work. There are wagons and horses moving around. They're shouting. You hear the slamming of pickaxes against stone, things of that nature. And as you're walking through and sort of taking in all of it, a wheelbarrow is dumped in front of you all as rock hits the ground. A dwarf man who is filthy. His beard is not well trimmed. It's sort of scraggled about. He's wearing a safety helmet with a window on it, and you can see an unlit candle inside this window on his helmet. He picks up the wheelbarrow and starts funneling the rocks back in. And he goes, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I didn't mean to." And as he's saying this, you hear a voice speak up. And I'm gonna fuck this up. I've been practicing this all week, and I'm gonna fuck this up. Someone picks up this dwarf onto his feet, and you look, and it is a... Oh god, I need character information. I've already forgotten. I was trying to pull it up and I got distracted with everything. Give me a moment. I wish I had someone that I could just be like, "Hey man, can you bring me that information?" And they just bring it to me.
You need a D&D like secretary.
essentially.
You need a D&D guy in the chair.
I need a guy in the chair.
Yeah.
Okay. A silver dragonborn picks this dwarf up, and he goes. He kind of like slaps him in the chest a little bit, not hard, but sort of like bump. And he goes, "Quit fucking around." And he looks at all of you, and he's wearing very regal clothing. He's clean. He's not, dirty in any way. His scales shine, and his clothes seem to shine just as much. And he goes, "What are you doing?" "Oh my god." And he sort of stares at all of you, and he goes, "Dorcas." And Dorcas, you are staring at your eldest brother.
Oh. What's my brother's name?
I don't know, what's your brother's name?
Character names. Hold on. Um. His name is Zeltron.
Zeltron?
Zeltron. So yeah,
Tron.
Zeltron. Yeah.
O-N, that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
He looks at you and just goes, "Dorcas."
Zel? Is that you?
"Is that you?" He sort of just looks you up and down and he goes, "What? How?"
I can ask you the same thing.
Ask me the same thing. Last I knew, you had headed to school.
I went. I graduated of sorts.
Make a deception check.
Oh, that's not gonna be good. That's gonna be 11.
He laughs, very much out loud in a mocking sort of way, just, "Ha ha ha! Yes, my wee brother Dorcas, of course. You absolutely graduated from school and came back after, what's it been? 2 years? Year and a half, maybe."
I wasn't the only school I went to was the one in Telbok. I've been to a few of them.
Oh, I'm well aware, because you see a letter was sent to both Mom and Dad about your resignation, was it? From Telbok School of Magic.
It was not something that was my own choice. I was told. Never mind what happened with that. What are you doing here?
Oh, you haven't heard, of course, because you've been busy. Father bought the mining company.
Of course he did.
Yes, and so he put me in charge. And boy, is he just going to be so excited to see you. I'm sorry I can't get over that. Tell me, who are your friends you're traveling with? I'm sure he'd be happy to meet all of them too.
Right. This, and I want to gesture to Vaza. This is Vaza. She is Vaza.
She is, Vaza. I love that.
And Azrael, he's Azrael.
I see
And-
someone else that shares a fine liking to clothing.
Yes, and Gildea, military woman from Milia.
Oh, you're traveling with military now.
Yeah, that is what I'm doing.
I'm just trying to check something. Vazzy, you're also a blue dragon, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, because I know Dorcas is as well, and I just wanted to be sure about that. Sorry, I'm just checking other things in the background. He goes, "Well," he goes, "at least you found your way to take on good company while you were gone. Speaking of, I wanted to bring up, and he's quickly stopped. He's swatted, by a tail, not dissimilar to how, Vaza will occasionally swat you, Dorcas. Um, and a female dragonborn walks up. She is copper in color. And she sort of pushes, Ziltron to the side and goes, "I thought you were supposed to be helping down." And he goes, "Well, I ran into." She goes, "I don't give a fuck what you ran into. Go." Uh, and he was like, "Well, you understand I'm having a family." And she goes, "I can't express enough how much I don't care. Go." And he turns to you, Doris. He goes, "See you later, brother."
Aye.
He walks away, and this female dragonborn turns to you, Dorcas, looks you up and down, and then throttles you in the shoulder. Just absolutely fucking nails you. And
Okay.
as she hits you, she goes, "Where in the fuck have you been?" Uh, this is your best friend from
Oh.
the city.
Right. Hava, you know where I've been.
You say, what is the name? Tell me one more time.
Hava.
Hava.
Kava. Yep.
Kava. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna write that down so I don't forget. Okay. She goes, "Oh, yes, of course." She goes, "I know where you've been, Mr. Oh, I'm going to school. Don't worry about it. I'll be back in a couple months when they break. And you never fucking came back. So why don't you explain to me what the hell you're doing here now with all of these?" And she stops and she looks at Vaza and looks Vaza up again and she goes, "Very interesting looking individuals." And a big smile comes across her face. She goes, "I don't believe we've had the pleasure." And she reaches a hand out to you, Vaza. She goes, "I'm Kava."
My scales are turning purple, by the way.
I'll take her by the hand and shake it and say, "Nice to meet you."
She goes, "How rude of my friend to never introduce us. I mean, he's been very rude as of lately. I didn't realize he traveled with such beautiful people. I'm getting ahead of myself." And she turns around and she like kind of shoves you, Dorcas. She goes, "Where the fuck have you been?"
Look, it's a long story, alright? I went to school, and then I went to another one, and then I went to another one, and then I went to a fourth one.
So you were just trying to get the full education of the entire kingdom and all. I can't understand. You were supposed to be back. We were supposed to be here doing things. And then she holds up with me and she goes, "Stop." She turns back around and she looks at Vaza. She goes, "What did you say your name was?"
Vaza.
That sounds familiar. Dorcas, why does that sound familiar?
I don't know why that sounds familiar.
Why does that sound
I
familiar?
met her weeks ago.
What's your surname?
Rordic.
You say that, and her eyes get wide. And she goes, "You're actually her."
Yes.
Wow. I must say it's a pleasure. Though,
Okay.
I wish it was under better circumstances.
Your best friend returns to town, and that's not a good circumstance, Kava.
Uh, wait, say that. What was not a good circumstance? I only heard part of it.
Coming back.
Oh. She goes, "Not what I mean. You are totally irrelevant to that." She walks up to you, Vaza, and she takes your hand. She goes, "No doubt because you're here because you heard about your dad."
What about him?
Her face sinks, and she goes, "Oh. How long have you been gone?"
About 6 years.
"Oh, Vaza. Vaza, I'm sorry to tell you this. Or less, I'm sorry it's coming from me, someone you don't know. Your dad's real sick. It's not the rot. Don't think it's the rot. He's real sick. And I know it's been 6 years, so you're probably questioning how I even know who you are and who your dad is. A lot has happened. But God, you and your dad are both legendary here, and he's not well. I thought you knew.
I didn't, but thank you for telling me.
I can show him to him. I can show you to him if you want. I mean, I
Yeah,
imagine you probably don't know where he lives now, so I can take you all.
that would be nice, thank you.
Oh, very well then. Follow me. I'll escort you. She turns back to you, Dover. She goes, "We are not done."
Of course we're not.
She goes, "Follow me, everyone." And she takes you all up into the upper city.
As we're doing that, I'm walking around going, bloody hell, the city is up thousands of people. And all that I ran into those two. What the fuck?
And as you all are headed up, we are going to take a short bathroom break. I think it's a good spot too, in case everyone needs to get up and stretch and use the bathroom, get a snack, whatever you need to do. We're gonna take a short break, and then we will be back. I think it's a good place to do that. So we'll be right back, everybody. No issues here. We still got some ways to go and some things to find out. Yeah, be back soon, everybody.
Apparently my desk
Alright, we are back. The cameras are all loading up here. It's going to take a second. There we go. Alright, everybody, we're back from the break. I had to switch shirts. I was sweating in that hoodie. But we are here. Okay, so you are all led up into the upper district of the city. As you slowly climb up these rocky and windy roads that try to follow the way the mountain climbs, but are also like there are certain points where the rock just sort of end and there's a wooden bridge that has to be built across and wait to the next rock formation. It's a very odd and weird way to travel if you're not used to it. You eventually come to a very large door that is built into the side of the wall with a lot of very nice adornments, and the outside is chiseled very nicely, and above the door there's just a single panel that reads Rordic. Kava turns to you, Vaza, and she goes, I won't go in, but if you all want to find me, I'm usually down by the mines helping out. I don't work there full time, but I try to make most of it. But this is your dad. Is there anything else I can help you all with?
Yeah, can we hear some stories?
No, we cannot. We're here on business. You shut your mouth.
She sort of smiles and rubs her head, and she goes, "Tell you what, if we all meet up later, I can probably share a couple things that won't make him too embarrassed, but if you've been traveling with him for a while, you know him. He'll blush at anything."
And on cue. Wearing purple.
She goes,
See him
yeah,
after
just
a
like.
drink.
She goes, oh, well, I've never got to see him after a drink, but I've heard some stories about how well his brother does after a drink, and if he's anything like him.
It's gonna be the death of me.
Be fine.
Yeah, see, you do great. And she kind of nudges your arm, and she goes, anyway, if you need me for anything, Dorcas should know where I live, and if I'm not there, I'm down by the mines.
Thank you, Kava.
Of course. And she leaves you all there standing in front of the Rordic homestead. What you gonna do?
Didn't think I'd see this place again.
You said it's been 6 years.
Yeah. Long time.
Do you want to go on alone, or do you want us to come with you?
You can come. We'll see what we find. And I'm just gonna push the door open and walk in.
Just walk right in the door?
Yeah.
You walk in, and the opening of the door latch echoes through the halls. The stone carved sort of, the ceilings are very tall for a dwarf. All of you don't have trouble standing in here, but seem like it's lower ceilings than you would expect from the regalness of the outside and the sign and everything. But there are, sconces along the walls lighting the way. You see things framed up along the hall as you step in. There's a nice carpet covering the floor. A few offshoots you see like carved entryways into other rooms. As you do, a gnomish man, very old gnomish man, his beard touches the floor. He hunches over, looks up, and he sort of squints at all of you, and he goes, "Oh, I was not aware we had guests." His hand sort of shakes, and he pulls out a pair of glasses, and he puts them on his nose. He goes, "Can I help you?"
Where's my father?
"Well, madam, I would not rightly know, as I do not. Hold on." And he steps a little closer and peers at you, and he goes, "Yes. He goes, "You're that girl from the picture in the foyer. Come, come." And he sort of waves you all in. You walk down the hall a little ways and make a turn as he walks into a larger room. And he goes, "Madam, we have company. It's the girl from the picture." A dwarven woman looks over and goes, "I don't know what you mean. And she's holding a tea set and she drops it and it breaks on the ground and she goes, "Oh my god." She goes, "Oh my god." And you see her look up at a picture that's hung over what is not an actual working fireplace, but just a mantelpiece that has been sort of put here. And you see a artist rendering of Vaza. It is not perfectly accurate. It is probably someone made from memory, not from a direct, like, I drew this while looking at you. There are a few features, like her scales are not exactly the right color. The way, her eyes sit on her face aren't quite right. She is in the painting, she's wearing a dress that you have never seen her wear anything like before. And so she goes, she begins to tear up as she looks at you and she goes, "Vaza!" And she rushes across and hugs you around the waist and she goes, "I know, it's very weird that I'm hugging you. You don't know me, but it's okay." And like she's sniffling and crying a little bit and she pulls away from you and looks at you. She goes, "God, I mean, look at you. I never thought I'd actually. Wow. Wow." She's surly and she goes, "Where are my manners? I'm Taylor." And she shakes your hand. She goes, "It is a pleasure to meet you, sweetheart. Your father married me shortly after you left. I know it's very weird and you don't know me, but I can assure you I've heard so much about you and your home and who are all your friends?"
This is Dorcas, Gildea, and Asriel. Don't show him anything shiny.
She laughs and she goes down the line shaking all of your hands. And is just saying, "Thank you, thank you." And you say that as she reaches Azrael. She goes, "Oh, Pish Posh, any friend of yours is welcome here, just like you are, I assure you."
I look forward to your hospitality.
Of course, of
Bet
course.
you.
She goes, "Why have you come after all this time? You're here, and I need answers to so many questions."
I've been brought back for some business that we have to attend to, that we've got caught up in, but as soon as I got here, I was told that Dad's sick.
Her face sort of sinks, as she's trying to control herself, but you can tell the somber tone. She goes, "He has been, for about a year now. We don't know what, he's, at first they thought it was the rot, because of how fast it set on, but you've missed a lot. They're trying, different healers every month, trying every day, they still can't find out what's wrong with him.
May we see him?
Of course, of course. I'm sorry. Down the hall, very end. He's still in his room. At least that's where they're holding him. I don't go in there often. I'm not allowed. They fear that too much interaction with people might worsen whatever he has."
Hmm.
And she begins leading you all down the corridor. As you walk down, you notice the things that are hanging on the walls are newspaper clippings. And they're primarily headlines. And they seem to go in a timeline order. The first one reads, "New Gladiator Shakes the Pit." The second reads, "The Smoke of the Mountain Strikes Again." The next one is uh, problems. Problems in pits make owner leave, and then the final one you see is undefeated. Smoke of the mountain takes over Gladiator Pit, and the first two and the final one have the same dwarf depicted in them. A very strong-looking man. He's got a scar that goes across his cheek, just above where his beard sits. His beard hangs down to about the center of his chest, and in each one he's doing different form of poses, like are you not entertained, like kind of flexing in one, his fist is up in another, and it seems that this man has rose to a very serious part of importance. Um, as you all approach the door, Taylor knocks, and the door creaks open, and a human woman answers, and she goes, "Oh, I just finished this session of healing. Did you want to?" And Taylor goes, Actually, his daughter, she says with a very big smile, would like to see him if he's okay to take visitors." And she goes, "Oh, yeah, but, not too many at once. Only two, two people at most if you wanted to come in with her. But of course it's up to you." And she looks at you, Vaza. She goes, "I assume you're the one he talks about. You match the description at least. But if you would like to come in with someone, you can. If not, that's fine. But you can have a few minutes. He's kind of weak, so don't ask him too many crazy questions and try not to overwork his mind, okay?"
Understood. Dorcas.
Hi.
All right.
I'm gonna go in with Dorcas.
The two of you enter. Taylor turns to Gildea and Azrael and goes, I'll have you both in the parlor if you both like tea or anything. There's plenty. We can certainly get some cakes and things if you'd like that too. Of course, I have so many questions about Vaza, and I'm sure you do too. I can answer the best I have based off what her father's told me, but come on, I'm just so excited. I'm sorry.
Tea and cakes would be lovely.
Of course. This way, please. And she leads you both back to the parlor. We'll jump to Vaza and Dorcas. You both enter a very large room. This room has, what you would expect. Dressers, mirror, a wardrobe in the corner, and a very large bed sitting in the center, far end of the room. At the very center of the bed lays a dwarf. As you approach, you notice his head is balding. There are patches in his beard. And he is very pale and wrinkled. He has the same scar under his eye that those in the news reports had shown. And he is breathing very weakly. His eyes are closed. And, there is a stool next to the bed, and there are, if you wanted to find another seating option, a couple other chairs sitting about in this room. And that is what you find yourself in.
Do you sense anything magical around him?
Would I roll an Arcana check for that?
Sure.
Oh, okay. 23.
You sense the healing ward that the healer was using in this room, though it is fading since she is not casting it anymore, but you judge it was very powerful since it's still resonating as much as it is here.
Nothing else?
Nothing else.
There's the healing magic. That is all.
Okay. I'm gonna sit on the stool next to him and give him a nudge to see if he opens his eyes.
You nudge him, and he very slowly, sort of creeps his eyes open. They don't open very wide, but you do see them open.
Does he notice me?
he sort of turns his head to the side a little bit. It doesn't seem he's looking directly at you. He goes, I thought we had finished. Do you have more for this session?
No, open your eyes a bit more.
He sort of blinks a couple times, and he looks at you, and you see his eyes widen greatly. And he goes, Vasa! And he goes to reach out, and he sort of buckles as he does and begins coughing profusely, just going. And he has one hand on his stomach and is reaching the other hand out to you as he's coughing.
I'll grab his hand and let him calm down from coughing.
He goes, my daughter, my ashen dragon has returned home. He just sort of stares at you. He goes, it's been so long. Where have you been?
A lot of places. You've looked better.
He chuckles and coughs through the laugh, just sort of. Yes, I suppose this isn't the greatest version of me you've ever seen.
What happened?
They don't know. One minute I'm in the pit. While you were gone, I became quite the gladiator, Vasa. I didn't know how to deal with you leaving, so I went to the pits, and I became something there, something no one had ever seen. And I took control of them, and one day I was sitting at my desk, and I started this cough, and I can't seem to shake it, and my body's just gotten weaker. I can barely hold myself on my own 2 feet. I've been here ever since.
Certainly in a better part of the city than we were before.
That we are. His eyes wander, and he goes, Who's your friend, sweetheart?
This is Dorcas. He's away with magic.
He nods to you, and he goes, It's great to meet you, my boy.
And you, sir?
Have you been keeping my daughter safe?
She needs no help with that.
He smiles. He goes, I trained her well. And he turns to you and goes, Though I must say, I regret the way I treated you, Vasa. You did not deserve the hardship I put you through.
Well, can't be changed now.
No, it can't. Though.
Is it?
Oh, go ahead. No, you're alright. You wanted to ask something.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, in my, studies over many different places, is it possible for me to roll something that I would know what this is?
Roll a medicine check. It's gonna have to be high.
Oh, it's high.
What is it?
22, nat 20.
Oh shit, nat 20. You step over to examine him, and you, look him over and start trying to figure out what is wrong with him. And he sort of chuckles, and he goes, I don't imagine you've looked over many 500-year-old dwarves, have you? And you hear that, and it sort of clicks for you that in this climate, many dwarves who tend to live that long will not get rot, but their bodies will start to give up. There's something about the way the mountain is. Maybe it's magic, maybe it's the way you live in a mountain, maybe it's the hardship of his job, but 500 years at his age, his body is just giving up. It's not so... He's probably sick, that's probably where the cough comes from, but his overall problem is that his body is dying.
Is there anything for it?
You guess that the healing practices have been prolonging this and have been making it easier on him. But at this age, everyone has to expire at some point. And that's what you gather from looking at him.
Damn it! Where's the Lazarus pit when you need one?
Right. 500 years, sir. I cannot say I have ever met a dwarf who have lived as that long.
He goes, I guess I'm just one of the few.
You are.
We are going to quick cut over to Azriel and Gildea, who are in the foyer with Vaz's now mother, stepmother. She sits down. The butler gnome comes over and sets a tea set down and some other cakes and goodies, and she goes, we have this stuff ready because we have guests every now and again, but I'm just so interested. What's Vaza like?
Well,
She's Vaza.
Oh, come now. Sure, she's terrific.
she is, and she takes a while to trust and warm up to people. So
That would be
Don't
her
take
dad's
it.
doing.
don't take it personally if it takes a while.
Oh, no, of course. I mean, you said as I had to ask her father out, which is not the traditional way we do things, but he just wouldn't do it. He was so stubborn back in the day.
Hmm.
She goes, where you all come from? Where have you been? How did this situation come to be?
Well, we're sort of friends by accident and fate.
Fate? Well, I don't know too much
Yeah.
about that, but if it's fated, then I imagine it very prominent, very big deal.
Well, we're on a mission from the Queen.
Queen, you say? Which one?
Is that what I said? Yeah. The Queen of the
How
Salon.
how long ago did you all get in?
Just today.
So you probably haven't heard.
Heard what?
I recognize by your armor that you are Malian. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you? She turns to you, Azrael.
Yes, I come from around the Malia area as well.
I see. Well, your lady, prominent as she is, has decreed that they may be separating from Persalon. That Malia may become its own country soon. That is why I ask which one.
This is some excellent tea.
Well, thank you. It's actually Savine, which is hard to get here, but we know a couple of people that can make the trade routes.
Metagaming for a sec. I don't actually remember if the Persalon Queen was like the Queen of Malia first.
So no, the Persalon Queen was chosen by the Silver Wolves. You in the military know Lady Malia, who is a part of your section of Persalon. What she's saying is that Lady of Malia has announced that she will be separating, or plans to.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the new Queen of Persalon.
Ah, the one from the ceremony where, as I hear, did not exactly go as planned.
We were there.
Wife?
You were there!
Yes.
What was it like? Well, first off, what was she wearing? I'm sure it was beautiful.
It was pretty. I don't remember.
Oh, it was so long ago, I'd imagine. I mean, you had to sail to get here. It's been months. But how did it... An adventure like that, everyone screaming, and I hear someone try to burn down the entire place.
And they hit my clothes.
Your clothes.
Yes,
You wear very
they tried to
regal.
burn my clothes.
You wear very regal garments. Are you royalty?
Oh no, I'm just a traveler.
I see. Well, I very much like it. Whenever my husband gets better, I may have to tell him to take a point out of your book. I'll make a note of it.
She likes your style, Azrael.
Yes. Now,
Should we tell
us
her how
what
you got it?
know about Vaza.
What do I know about Vasa? Well, at least anything her father's told me. What would you like to know?
Oh, anything. Just what is she like?
Well, from what I understand, she didn't exactly enjoy the way her father trained her all those years. As you probably guessed, she's quite the fighter. But her father didn't exactly give her a choice. Very hard-headed. But the loyalty she had. I mean, hell, at her age, she did not leave, never threatened to run away until 6 years ago. She was devout, at least to a point. And then eventually, everyone has their need to see the world and adventure. I don't blame her. We will cut back to the room with Vaza and Dorcas. Vaza, your father is laying there holding your hand, and he looks to you and goes, I am worried I don't have much time, my daughter. I mean, we all can't live forever, I suppose, right? Have I told you the story of how I found you?
You mentioned bits, but you never told me the whole thing. You just told me to concentrate on my studies.
I know. I think it's time I told you that story because Vaza, do not think less of me. And he grips your hand as tight as he can, though it is a weak grip. You can tell he's trying to hold you tighter. He goes, do not think less of me, but there are parts of your story I've left out. And if you'll listen, I would like to tell you all of it.
I'll listen.
400 years. And the war never came. And I was sure it never would. And then, all at once, it did. And I was called to arms. You know this part, of course. I'm reiterating. I was a part of a small group that was meant to was meant to go and make sure a certain town was okay. There had been reports of attacks. And when I went, we heard a scream come from a burning building, where we found your mother. And I'm sorry, and I know you don't think anything of it, but I'm sorry I could not save her, Vasa. But she demanded we take your egg. Demanded it. And I did. comes the part where I refused to tell you. You were not the only egg that I took from that house that day. Your mother had another. A small, small egg. Cracked at the base. A small fracture. The length of a hair. I wasn't sure the egg would survive. Another one of my brothers, a dwarf like me, took the egg and promised he would take care of it. At least until it hatched. And he did. But when it hatched, he realized, like me, he didn't know how to take care of a dragon. So he gave the dragon away. With one simple rule. That they name the dragon after him. What I'm saying, Vasa, is you have a brother. And I don't know if he's alive. But you have family.
What was the name?
They named him Skrios. After the man who saved him. And I don't remember the name of the family he gave them to. They sent me a letter saying that he was okay, but after he turned 6, I never heard a thing. So I couldn't tell you where he is, but somewhere you have blood. A whole family. And I'm sorry I never told you.
Oh. Why?
I was afraid. I was afraid that they would try to take you from me. I was afraid that perhaps if I let it be... I mean, you know, we weren't prominent people here, and I was afraid if I let people know that a peasant like me was holding a dragonborn as his daughter, before I held any sort of form of lordship, that the cold scales would try to take you from me and then try to take him too. I was selfish.
Something do you have with the gold scales now?
They don't like me. After I took control of the gladiator pits, they demanded that I swear fealty to them. And well, you know your father. I couldn't.
Good.
They threatened to take the gladiator pits away, but they never owned them. It's always been dwarven owned, and they won't take that from me.
It's a lot to think about.
I know. I only tell you now because, well, every time that healer walks through the door, I'm afraid I won't wake up from the healing session she gives me.
Do you
But-
still have the letter?
Oh. Probably. Ask your mother, or rather, Taylor. I if you don't think of her as that, I understand. But she keeps records well. She'll know where it is. But I thought you should know.
I'm glad I came back.
He smiles, and the tears run down his face further. And He grips your hand with both of his hands now, trying to hold you as tight as he can. He goes, "It was everything that I wished for." Um, he goes, "If you need time, I understand. I don't know why you're in town or how long, but you will always have a place here."
Thanks, Dad. Get some rest.
Of course. And don't wander too far. Alright?
I'll be around.
Thank you. He lets go of your hand and settles back into bed and closes his eyes with a very large smile on his face.
I'll pull Dorcas to one side and go, what did you learn?
He doesn't have long left. The climate here is not helping him. Vaza, your brother.
Yeah. A brother.
You don't understand. My given name is Skrios.
You?
I
We?
I
Us.
I
Us?
look, let's just count a blessing that we've never slept together, alright?
Where's that you go?
You flirted with me.
I didn't know who you were then.
It wasn't like you always knew.
No, it wasn't like that. I didn't. The only siblings I knew of are the ones that you met.
They're a different color.
I was told that my name was not a very kind name given to me.
Because of its dwarven.
Perhaps, but they. It seems that perhaps my mother had dealings outside of the family.
Oh.
Look, I cannot tell you what the rest of them will say, but you and I, we don't have to go this alone. I've got your back. As often as you want to show it to me.
Interesting.
Hi.
It's a good thing your flirting didn't work, isn't it?
Well, yes, so it is.
I mean, not that
Although,
you're my type anyway. You're
yeah, I
friends,
gathered
though.
that, considering, the interaction you had with Kava before we came here.
She seems lovely.
She is. She very much is. Just, yes.
I think I'm gonna need some of that tea and
Aye.
whiskey. You don't need any more whiskey.
No, I don't.
No. I'm
How do you
gonna
want
teach you how to drink.
Great. Well,
What are siblings for, I guess?
Let's go, brother.
You both walk out into the hallway. And the healer bows to both of you, and goes, "I'll be around if the two of you ever need anything. I'm usually tending to him." You both walk down the hall, into the foyer where Gildea and Azriel are talking with Vaza's stepmother.
And they hear me saying, and that's when Vaza decided to swing the chicken!
Uh, Taylor is laughing hysterically. And she goes, "No, no, wait, no, go, go back to the part where she was dragging the Goblin Man along with her down the hill."
Ah, yes, it was quite an escapade.
Oh goodness. She looks up and she goes, "Oh, Vaza, dear, your friends were just telling me about this time at a farm where you used a chicken for a weapon." Oh my days. Oh, how is your father, dear?
Well,
Good. Good. I'm glad to hear it. I mean, we're having as many good healers as we can come in, so as long as he's bettering his condition, that is for best. Oh, goodness. No, she starts fanning herself a little bit. She goes, "I have not laughed like that in quite some time."
Tavern. Good for a laugh.
I can see that. Oh, goodness. Well, are you all staying? Do you have business in town? What is your plan? I don't want to, you know, intrude on anything you all are trying to do, but of course there's room here if you need it, by all means.
would be good. I think
Cool.
staying here, and Dad mentioned about a letter about my brother that you may be able to find for me.
Oh, so he told you that?
Yes, I think I would like to see this and explore this.
Well,
What do you reckon, Dorcas?
You know, learning about family lineages is always informative.
I eye these two suspiciously.
make a insight check. See how well Azriel can read a room.
Not well at all. They must just be hungry. It's fine. That was a 3, so it's not going to get much higher from
Yeah,
there.
no. Yeah, they are. I mean, yeah, they must just. It's been a long road. You know, Vaz is seeing family. It's a lot. Um. Your stepmother goes, "Well, I've left that letter in his office at the pit. I can get it for you. Uh, it will probably have to be tomorrow. I can have it for you tomorrow morning. Um, but for now, let's just enjoy that you're home."
Do you have something stronger than tea?
She stands up and sort of brushes herself, and she goes, "Sweetheart, we have everything stronger than tea." And
Tequila!
she ushers you towards the kitchen. Um, how do you all spend the rest of your day, kind of, in this scenario here?
Well, eventually I'm gonna have to go and find either my brother or Kava or both.
Okay.
You invite them here.
I would invite Kava here. That would not be a problem.
Okay.
Why
I
not
could-
the well-dressed one?
Because he is a prat.
All the more reason.
You do not understand. He is going to be of no use or any help to us.
He sounds like he'd be very useful in the amusement department.
This is not. You all think that this is some sort of joke. I assure you it isn't. I was hoping that we would be here and that my father would not find out that I am here.
Oh yes, let's invite him too.
One of these days, I'm gonna just go.
What does it matter if your father knows?
What does it matter if my father knows? Oh, let's see here. My father told me that I was named for an ancient draconic word which means destroyer. He told me that the only reason I am to have any place under his roof is because his beloved wife begged him to. Of course, because those that put them on not so great terms, she really wanted nothing to do with me either. Hence why I was shipped off to the Mage's College as soon as they could muster it. In fact, an exception was made because I was too young when they sent me.
Okay.
Come back in with Taylor with like bottles of spirits and meads and
Yeah, you guys come in with. She's got a tray of like cups and glasses and things, and you're holding the alcohol like in your arms. She goes.
Alright.
She goes. I will get some music going. I'm sure we have something around here that can play. You all enjoy yourselves, and if you need anything, you let me know. She goes. Did I hear that we were planning to invite someone for dinner?
I am going to go and see if she's available.
Fantastic. Well, I will be sure to let those who cook know. I don't cook for large parties, so.
turkey wings would be great.
Turkey wings. Fantastic. Oh, and I will be sure to have that, is it a mule you came with?
Simon.
Yes, I will make sure that he's, carted well, that he's taken care of.
Susan's out there as well. You can meet the guard chicken.
She takes off. Like, she's like, that's real, and takes off.
Alright, I am going to go find Kava. Does anyone, do you all, are you gonna stay here, or what is...
You know, I knew there was a reason that I liked dwarven hospitality. I'm good right here, baby.
Right. Then I shall return as quickly as I can.
Azrael.
I will go with Dorcas. I don't want to stick around here.
Okay.
I would like to go into town. I'm not going to find anything here for the taking.
With your paws to yourself, Azrael.
Right here.
Gilea and Vazzy, you two stay and begin drinking and enjoying the rest of your day. Dorcas and Azrael, you two head down into town in hopes to find Kava down by the mines. As she said, that's the best place you could probably find her. You wander down. It's getting late in the day at this point. A lot of shops are beginning to close their doors. Not so many people on the street. When you get closer to the mines, the sound of clanging is less frequent, but you do hear it echoing from inside the mine. that the night crew is probably beginning their shift deep within. Um, and you do find Kava, who is standing where a few benches are sort of placed with a lot of paperwork and scrolls and things, and she seems to be writing some stuff down.
All right, I'm gonna go over to her and say, well, you said we weren't finished, so I returned to hopefully not receive another one of your oh so warm welcomes.
She sets down her quill and she goes, "Yeah, we're not finished because I want to know exactly how it is you plan to make up for ditching me for 2 years."
It wasn't exactly ditching you for 2 years. You knew that I was gonna be away.
You said you'd be back, you didn't come back. I expected you to come back. No letters, by the way. Who the fuck doesn't send a letter? Regardless,
It's not allowed.
you're not allowed to send letters at school.
No,
Who the fuck wants to go to school if you can't send a letter?
I didn't want to go to school. Do you not remember that?
No, I very much remember that, but at the same time, you're gone for 2 years. At any point, you could have just left.
I did, and because they sent me to another, and then another, and then another. And they said it's because I was a lost cause, and I didn't question it at that time, but apparently I should have.
Yeah, you really should. I mean, for fuck.
Kava, you knew what it was like here for me. You knew what I was putting up with. Can you blame me for wanting to get some reprieve for just a little bit?
No, I don't blame you. I know your family, and I know how they were, and
What?
are. Let's be honest, you know I don't talk to them. I have to talk to your brother every day. You really think I want to talk to the rest of them?
The fact that you talk to him every day and you haven't killed him yet is really a feat in my book.
Honestly, if he just worked here and your dad wasn't the one that owned it, I would kill him. I'd make it look like an accident too. We got a mine shaft that we can't go down. I just push him.
I like her.
Thank you. By the way,
She's the best part of this place.
who's he?
That's Azriel, friend of mine.
Friend.
Aye.
And she kind of turns and looks at you, Azrael, and goes, "Friend?" And you see her kind of like raise her eyebrows a little bit.
I am a traveling companion on official business with our friend Dorcas.
Yeah, I'm sure that kind of business is official.
Yes.
Wait, what exactly are you implying?
Oh, come on, Dorcas.
Hey, that's none of your business.
You're right. It
It is
isn't.
none of my business.
You stay out of this. This has nothing to do with you.
This has everything to do with me.
I like him.
On occasion, I do too, but right now he is proving to be rather frustrating.
That's why I like him.
Of course you do. I seem to attract frustrating people now, don't I?
Oh, okay. All right. I deserve that.
Yeah, you do. I mean, you're not exactly known for, never going away for extended periods of time. What about after that one night? You were gone for 3 months.
Okay. In my defense, my brother was on the war front.
Really? You're gonna use that?
Well, yeah. I can't exactly say my cousin. My dad doesn't have any brothers. Look, I know you want to know why I was gone for 3 months, and I know you've to do so much, but you're never gonna know. So let's just get over that.
I know the same thing probably rings true for you that did for me, that it wasn't gonna work, and I would have been fine with that.
We can catch up on old times and argue about whatever we want, whenever we want to.
Right. I'm forgetting my purpose here. Look, would you like to come to dinner at our friend's house?
The short one with the blue scales.
Aye. Yes.
I mean, I'm not saying no. Should I wear something fancy?
Wear whatever it is you like.
I'm gonna wear something fancy. How long?
30 minutes.
30. You expect me to get ready in 30 minutes? Fuck. I can give you
Papa?
I can give you a tight 45, but beyond that, I can't help you.
Fine, fine, that's fine. Now listen to me.
I'm
This
listening.
friend of mine has been through a lot and is going through a lot.
Yeah.
If you're gonna try something, I swear if you do anything that makes her unhappy, then the assault that you gave me will be very mild to what I'll do to you.
She stands up and rolls up the scrolls that she's been working on and tucks them into a box. And she walks around as you're finishing what you say, and she goes, "Oh, Dorcas," and she pinches your cheek, and she goes, "You both know I'm a sweetheart." And as she walks away, she kind of slaps you with her tail. She goes, "I'll see you soon."
I hate her so much sometimes.
We
I hate tears.
we cut to dinner at the Rordic residence. Um, you are all sitting around the table. Kava has arrived. She's wearing a very lovely dress. Um, she has cleaned up significantly from how she looked when you all met her at the mines. Vaz's dad is not sitting with all of you. He needs, he can't really move well, so he has not been brought out to the table. Um, as you're all sitting there, Taylor looks at you, Vaz, and goes, "If you want me to, I can ask them to I can ask the healer to bring him out. She can probably sit him down if you'd prefer. I mean, I don't know how long he can sit here, but
For the entertainment.
Hmm?
I'm sure he'd like to meet Asriel.
She waves the healer over and whispers something to her, and a few minutes go by, and your father is sat in a rather large chair, kind of to keep him from tipping over. And the healer stands next to him, so that way he has some support, and he's shakily but slowly sort of feeding himself from the plate in front of him. And he smiles and looks to everyone, and he goes, "Can I just say I've been dreaming of dinner like this for quite some time, and I'm happy you've made such great friends, Vaza."
Smile at him and carry on eating a turkey wing.
The dinner goes on. There are jokes. What do you guys? I want to know this. Do you guys tell any stories from your travels at this dinner?
I would like to congratulate her father on teaching her how to use a sword very well. But her archery can use some work.
He chuckles and he goes, "Well, actually, I'm not the one who taught her archery. Her uncle, if that's what you want to call him, uh, taught her that. However, he has since passed on. Long time ago. But he wasn't exactly what I would call proficient. But I knew
Yes.
nothing of a bow."
He must have been missing something here.
Oh, he was missing a lot there.
How long are you going to hold this over her? I mean, yes, she shot you, but there was a lot going on during that
She
time.
shot me!
Vazzy, your dad kind of like leans down a little low, and like leans towards you and goes, "You actually shot the elf."
Yeah, right in his ass as well.
He coughs through a chuckle and he goes, "That's a girl," and like slaps your shoulder. Um, he's like, "Were you aiming at him?"
Close.
That's good enough for me.
It's okay. Dorcas set him on fire.
You set him on fire.
I don't remember that.
When did he set him on fire?
Did
Was
I
it
actually
when
set Asriel on fire?
Was it when we were on the boat? Or
No,
was it
he
while
electrocuted him. He electrocuted him.
Yeah, that was it. Electrocuted him.
Oh,
Yeah, but he didn't know that.
that's true. That's true. You just kind of called him out. You're like, he electrocuted him.
Wait, what?
Drunk at this point. I've been drinking all day with Gildea. We've been exchanging drink for drink.
What battle was that even when I did that?
That was on the ship.
Oh, that was on the ship. Okay.
Yeah.
But, Pops, you know, it's okay because Azrael can get into shit on his own without any help.
He's a troublemaker, is he?
Yes.
I've known a few
You
troublemakers.
tried to jump off my shoulders onto a chandelier and then flip off of it onto somebody else.
As someone that has partaken in the arena, I think you would appreciate what I was going for.
I mean, I could definitely understand the extravagancy, though I can't call it an efficient way to end someone's life.
Exactly.
It's
I'm gonna
about
nudge
the
Gildea and be like,
panache.
show him your shield. Show him your shield.
My shield? Okay.
Shield.
This is the first open I've ever seen.
Oh, look at it. So cool.
He sort of reaches out to have it kind of handed over to him, and the healer helps. And he holds it in his hands, and he's like, "It's very silver," and like sort of traces his hands across. He goes, "Why does it shine the way it does?"
Shit.
He looks. He goes, "What does it do?"
Throw
If
it.
I throw it right, it'll come back.
And like he just kind of like looks at it in amazement, just like, "Wow, we could use something like this."
It's
My
called a
God.
shield-a-ring.
Unfortunately, she's only been able to throw it right about half the time.
Hey, hey now. I'm not the only one who misses on occasion.
I don't know who that's directed to, Gildea.
You and you and you. All of you.
To be fair, she is also not hit a teammate when she misses.
You all continue this banter of, blaming each other, and stories come up through saying, well, he did this to me, and she did that to me, and these other sort of things, and the night is filled with laughter. And Vaza, a smile never leaves your dad's face. He does struggle to laugh sometimes, but it's a nice moment. Kava definitely flirts towards you a few times, trying to make eyes or little suggestions. But I mean, that's up to you how far that actually goes. Um,
For a wink.
you throw her a wink.
For
God.
a wink.
Make a charisma check with advantage.
With advantage. Ooh, fucking woo.
I mean, Kava's already been throwing eyes.
Ooh, that's a nat 20.
Holy
Oh!
shit!
Her pants came off.
The dinner ends, and Taylor is showing all of you to the guest rooms that they have. And Kava requests Vaza that you walk her out. And I assume you are. As you do, she kind of stops at the door and she goes, I didn't tell anyone to wait up for me. if you have the room here, I mean. And she kind of like strokes your scales down your arm.
My house. My room's this way.
She goes, I would sure like to see it if you don't mind.
After you, my lady.
And we fade to black because I'm not going to roleplay sex. It's late. It's very late in the night.
Can we roll to see how loud it is?
Everyone roll perception.
Including me?
No.
Azrael's getting a great night of sleep. I rolled another fucking 3.
Nice.
12.
12.
I don't remember what my plus to. 14.
14. Thick stone walls don't carry sound that well.
Cool.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
It's very late in the night.
You're not
And-
rolling perception, Mystic. You're rolling to see how good it is.
You could roll if you want to roll performance. I'm not gonna stop you.
Oh my
She should get advantage for that too.
Yeah.
She already got the nat 20 and talked her into bed with a wink. Like
13.
13. It's all right.
Not
It's a
bad.
good time.
I'm a bit drunk, you know.
Well, floppy.
Missing some cues.
It's been a minute.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
Good God, my sister and my best friend are fucking into the same room.
The night goes on. It is very late. And Vaza, you of course are in bed with Kava. She stays the night. And you wake up quite randomly. And you look up around the room, and it's dark, but of course dark vision. You can see rather well in here. You look up, and in the corner of the room, someone is sitting in the chair in the corner of your room, just sort of stroking their hand across the wall. And they go, you know, before all this started, I'd never been to Telbok. And 2 orange eyes stare at you in the darkness.
Horrible bitch.
And the dark figure goes, gonna be honest. This is very, very juicy. And that's where we're going to end this session.
God damn it!
Oh.
Oh, goodness. I live for it. I live for it. Oh my gosh. Alright. I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank my wonderful cast of people for playing along and having a good time, hopefully.
It's the best friend.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything you want to plug or promote?
Always update your drivers.
Always update your drivers.
The bigger they are, the more room for treachery.
Bigger than more infrastructure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have anything except that I'll, be back on my normal schedule next week, and you should definitely go check out the people below me. Patty doesn't really stream too much anymore, but you should
Maybe he'll do that.
maybe he will. Maybe one day he'll pick it back up and decide he wants to do it some more. But
Maybe. But in the
own
meantime, support all my
chicken?
friends.
Do you have your own chicken wings there, Patty?
No, these are pickles.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't tell what they were, and I was a little afraid to ask, honestly.
No, for some reason I really fucking wanted a pickle, so.
Decent. yeah, you should definitely check out the Nerds. They are absolutely incredible, and Mystic is also absolutely incredible. They stream relatively frequently. They have their own schedules, which you can see on their channels and discords and what have you. So go check them out. They're great. Love having them here. Until then, we'll be back in 2 weeks, hopefully. I don't think there's a schedule conflict, but if there is, you of course all will know. Yeah, that's all I've got. Be safe out there, everybody, and safe or incredible rolls. Have some great rolls while you're out there amongst your adventures, and we will see you guys hopefully in 2 weeks. All right.
TTFN.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.